What up, YouTube? Salvador Brakeman here, and today we're talking about raising money for college expenses using crowdfunding. So how do you do this? What are some things you should know before you get started? And also, where do you even begin? You know, it's a really abstract concept. I've seen a lot of more people raising money for their college tuition, for even college expenses like textbooks and educational programs using crowdfunding and online fundraising. And I want to sort of highlight some of the things I've learned about this. So first of all, if you do want to check out some of the websites that you can use to raise money, I'll be including a link down below so you can check out some of those. I have a lot of other videos on websites like GoFundMe that you can check out if you are interested in that. That being said, let's get into the strategy. So the first thing that you should know is that you cannot raise your entire tuition via crowdfunding. I'm sorry, I hate to burst your bubble, but it's probably not gonna happen unless you're really, really popular or you have a news story that just goes viral. Like, it's not gonna happen otherwise. I think it's more realistic to raise anywhere between $1,000 to $5,000 from crowdfunding for your education. And the majority of that money, I would say probably 95, maybe even higher percentage, is going to come from your own network. It's gonna come from your friends, your family, your second degree connections, people that know you, your local town, your local community. The majority of your fundraising is going to come from your own connections on Facebook, on email, on text message. That's where people are going to support you. And the reason is they know you, they're your friend. There's a relationship built in some way, and so there's a basis for that person to give you money. If you're just expecting like the majority of your funds to come from strangers online, that is not going to happen. The majority of campaigns, I would say, raise under $1,000, usually around an $800 mark, and almost all of the funds come from their social network. And there are statistics on GoFundMe, etc., to back that up you can check out. So now that you know that, I think it's important to examine the pitch, the ask. We sort of live in a culture where there's a lot of, you feel like you can just ask for something and it's given. There's sort of a culture here where we almost have the sense that we're entitled to an education, where we're entitled to people supporting us in a certain way, and that's just not true. It is not true, particularly once you get out there into the real world, and if you're in business at all, you will certainly know this to be true. See, what you want to do is you want to begin to think about how you can convey your story in this campaign page. How you can show people that you're actually serious about this, that you're serious about pursuing your education, that you're serious about, if you're, say, a doctor, helping a specific community or using your skills to help people with whatever it is that your degree is going to be in. Because that allows people to sort of buy into that story a bit and shows them like, oh, okay, if I give $25 to, I don't know, Cassidy's education or Alexander's education, then at least it's going to have this impact. Like, this is what they're trying to do with their life. This is a young person who's hustling, who's really trying to make an impact in the world. And they're not just trying to like use the money and like get out of working a summer job. Because let's be honest, the majority of ways that not only previous generations, but also our generation has gotten money for college has been working. Working really hard, menial jobs. Working at a pizza place, working, in fast food. All of these different jobs, the question becomes, why don't you work part-time for this place? Or why didn't you save up money? There needs to be the reason there so that people can latch onto that and not just say, oh, this person is just being lazy. This person just wants my money because they're not willing to take out a loan or they're not willing to do X, Y, and Z. Really try to explain why it is that you're going with this route, why it is that crowdfunding is a must for you, because that sort of helps fill in some of those gaps. anything that you can do in the way of compelling images or a video even to help transmit some of these positive emotions and show people that you're serious. A campaign page that isn't just riddled with spelling errors. If I see a campaign page, particularly on GoFundMe, and it's just riddled with spelling errors or really bad grammar, or there are like random spaces and it's just a wall of text, it's going to be hard for me to read that. I'm not going to want to put in the mental energy to read it. And also I think to myself, wow, it could have taken an extra 10 minutes to spell check that. And nowadays with Microsoft Word or even just using the online tools, it's very easy to spell check. Why didn't they put in that energy? Maybe they're not going to put in their energy with their education. They're asking for a hand-me-out. Why would you not put in some energy, even an hour, to put together a really nice campaign page? So that's another thing that I would keep in mind as you're putting together this fundraising page for your college education. And the other thing is taking it back a step, how your education is going to impact a core demographic and sort of tying that into your own life story. So here's a really great example. And there are some other campaign success stories I'll be including as a link in the description of this video. But one example, this young student was really interested in studying medicine. And the reason was she wanted to return to her hometown, which was really not that great of an area, kind of impoverished. And she wanted to deliver first-class medical aid to these individuals. She wanted to be that one doctor who doesn't work in an affluent area, but actually goes in the trenches and helps people with their various medical ailments. And that's a story, that's a mission that resonates with me. That's the kind of thing that gets me excited about supporting someone else, because you see the positive changes that they're making in their overall environment, and tying that to a personal story of maybe how their grandmother was affected by a particular illness, or a personal event that happened that made them feel so compelled to study this particular thing. It just makes you get the feels, It makes you feel something towards that person, and you can see if you lived their life, if these events had happened to you, yeah, I would also want to study this. And it'd be really frustrating knowing that I don't have the money, I don't have the funds, or maybe I got into a really great college, but I just don't have the money to be able to attend. It makes me empathize with you, because story is what allows us to feel the same emotions towards something that someone else does. When you tell a story, you're transmitting emotions from my brain to your brain. Story is really powerful in that way. It allows us to put ourselves in the place of someone else who is very different from ourselves and who maybe had a completely different life story than we do. And finally, the last thing I want to say on this video for raising money for college education is that if we're going to break it down to the techniques that work, that are effective, it's always going to be direct messaging people on Facebook, picking up the phone and calling people, text messaging people, and also email outreach. These are the major ways that you're going to get funding, and you just have to work hard. You just have to contact person after person, make sure that before you ask them, you at least are connected with them in some way, that if that relationship for some reason has fallen by the wayside, that you try and build up that relationship a bit before actually asking something of them. That's going to improve your chances of getting them to buy into your campaign. In addition to all these different techniques, you're probably going to also have to answer questions, like what is this whole crowdfunding thing? Are you going to do updates? Are you going to share with us a bit of story? Are you going to write a blog? You're going to get some questions, so you're going to have to do a little bit of customer service as well when you're running a crowdfunding campaign for your education. And finally, be sure to use everything at your disposal. If you're part of a small local town, contact the town newspaper. Be willing to put yourself out there. Be willing to say, yes, I am running this campaign. I am asking for donations, but it's not something like I'm pleading or I'm begging you. It's almost like I'm asking you to join me on this journey and keeping those emotions positive. So if you have more questions or if you want more advice on this topic, I invite you to enroll in my waitlist. It's crowdcrux.com/GoFundMe waitlist. And when I come out with a new program that goes through step-by-step how to raise money for your college education, but could also be for a lot of different other components for your education, not just tuition costs, you'll be the first to know about that. So I'll include a link down below if you want to check that out. And in addition, I have a lot of free videos out there. You can take advantage certainly of some of my videos on fundraising. You can check out my book on Amazon on personal crowdfunding. There's a lot of information out there nowadays. You can also look into those. But finally, if you want more videos like this, go and hit that subscribe button so you'll get an email notification when new videos come out. Again, my name is Sal. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know via comments, and I'll see you next time.